Sometimes waking up at 5 a.m. will not solve your productivity problems. Hi, my name is Mal. I'm a behavioral scientist, and I have about a decade worth of experience in corporate, and I have a side hustle. I'm currently studying, so I get it. Our calendars are booked. I'm going to share with you 5 time management tips that I have been using to help me save time throughout my week. And hopefully this will also help you as well. Let's jump straight into it. Number 1, turn repeat decisions into mini systems. We waste so much time during our week trying to decide what to wear, what to pack for lunch, what to wear to work, or what time of day to do work. And all of these really result in what we call decision fatigue. Decision fatigue really cripples you and prevents you from taking any action, or you find yourself taking much, much longer to come to a decision, which then inevitably prevents us from acting. And decision fatigue really hits the hardest when we feel overwhelmed. So sometimes you want to just streamline some of the decisions. Some examples I could give would be regarding what to wear to work instead of deciding every morning in a rush on your way to the office. You can just pre-plan some of your outfits for the week to reduce decision fatigue. Another one is obviously meal prepping. Instead of coming home after a long day, having to decide what you need to eat, you can then just pre-plan your meal before the end of the week. Another example that I use that works quite well for me is to decide on a working system for the week. So, for example, you could tell yourself that Mondays and Wednesdays, you focus on admin. So dealing with emails and any outstanding items that you need to do. Tuesdays and Thursdays are for design and focus. Maybe you have a presentation you need to do. Maybe you have a concept you need to think about. So really trying your best to create a system around some of the things that take up your time. I've really found that the system where you create a framework or dedicate certain days to a specific type of work works quite well with me. So building these systems really help reduce clutter and also just free up some brain power for any other activity. Tip number 2 is the famous 5-minute rule. This one has really revolutionized how I work, and it has also helped me overcome procrastination. So essentially, if you see a task or something that you need to do, and you feel your body resisting it and not wanting to do it, how about the next time you feel this happening, tell yourself that, okay, I'm just going to do this for 5 minutes, then I'll stop, right? And you'll find that this is a really great foot in the door type of situation where once you start getting into the flow, once the 5 minute is over, I tend to just finish what I'm doing anyways. Another tip that I'll give is if you don't like using time blocks like this, you can even use songs as indicators to say, well, I'm going to play this one song, and once the song is over, I'm going to pens down and stop working. That's also a really fun way to incorporate the 5-minute rule into your everyday. Number 3, decrease your scrolling time by adding friction between you and what distracts you. So a lot of times during the week, I find myself guilty as charged, sometimes spending a lot of time in between meetings, maybe scrolling, looking at messages, and really taking away time from some of my productivity. And the best way to do this is to increase the distance between you and your distraction. And the reason I'm saying this is because of what we call the proximity bias. And essentially, our brain pays the most attention to things that are either physically or psychologically closer to us. So if you're sitting and you're trying to get some focus work done and your phone is right next to you and a message pings up, your attention is immediately distracted. So to try and overcome it, when I try to focus, I put my phone in a cupboard, and I kid you not. That's what I do. And it just increases the cognitive distance between me and my phone. It's, out of sight, out of mind. Once I'm done working, I can always just rush to the cupboard and look at my phone as a media reward for getting things done. But really just try and increase that distance to try and focus on the work that you're doing. A second example would be if you're at work and you guys have Teams, Slack, or any type of team management system. I would advise maybe putting your calendar on focus mode, because then it blocks all notifications coming in. Because once again, we want to limit as many distractions as possible, increase the friction between you and looking at messages, or you and looking at anything that might distract you from the task at hand. Proximity bias is also very interesting, because you can kind of reverse it and use it to your own advantage, because it says that, the brain pays more attention to things that are physically or digitally closer to us. So if you want to prioritize a task, you can do things like put a specific task on a really bright sticky note on your monitor, to make sure that as soon as you get up and start working on the laptop, that's the first thing you see, just to bring the attention to it. Number 4 is build invisible buffers during your day. This is something that I started doing, and honestly, it's been a fantastic game changer. So back-to-back meetings can be extremely exhausting. They are the key productivity killer. You'll find yourself a lot more overwhelmed. You'll start feeling confused. You're prone to making a lot more errors when you're in a space where you just don't have enough breathing space. So try and build in some buffers that allow you to take breaks in between your meetings or during your day, to zone back into some of the tasks that you have to complete. So for example, if a meeting finishes early or 15 or 10 minutes before your next meeting, just tell yourself, I'm just going to 5-star jumps to try and get the blood system flowing. Second tip I would give is to use Friday afternoons, block out Friday afternoons, 2 hours or so, to try and just revisit some of the emails that you might have received during the week, or close off some action items that you got busy with during the week. This will really help in feeling less overwhelmed and more accomplished. Another tip I'd give, similarly, as you close out on a Friday, you have to check in on Monday. So try your best to try and block out maybe even 2 hours on a Monday morning, or an hour even, or even starting 30 minutes early. You look at your calendar and you say, okay, what does the week have in store for me? What are some of the things that I need to prioritize? What are some of the meetings I need to look at attending? What can I attend? What can't I attend? It has really helped me in terms of feeling a lot more in control of what I'm doing. But then secondly, it's also a lot less overwhelming. Tip number 5 is my absolute favorite. And it's, don't start your day with the hardest thing. Set yourself up for success and don't do the hard thing first. Ever since I started my corporate career, I've been obsessed with productivity, concepts and knowledge. I've read quite a lot of productivity books and watched a lot of videos. And a lot of the advice is literally saying things like, oh, do the hard thing first, swallow the frog first. And I believe in that. I really think so. Once you get the hard thing done, you start feeling a lot more accomplished and you can take on the day. I tried out for myself, and it wasn't something that I really liked. As I mentioned previously, I have a 9 to 5, have schoolwork, and I also have a side hustle. So when I was designing my morning routine, I was literally like, okay, great. I'm going to use my mornings to study. I will wake up and I'll read. So like reading literature reviews, awesome. So I noticed that I wasn't as consistent in maintaining that habit until I realized that, waking up to read literature reviews is the least exciting thing one can do, to me. And to be honest, I felt I was resisting that a lot, because I was not looking forward to doing that so early in the morning. So I decided to ask myself, well, what is it that I find exciting that I could start off with? And I realized that I enjoy dance parties. I enjoy listening to music, dancing, moving it for 20 to 30 minutes. I look forward to waking up, playing some good music and having a dance party, and really just warming myself up and getting in the groove before doing my literature reviews or before working on my schoolwork. And I realized that really works for me, because instead of my body resisting, instead of me becoming inconsistent, I wake up to a dance party. After that, I settle down, get my cup of tea, and get into work. Honestly, it's really changed my mood and how I perceive my days, I look forward to getting up earlier. So really, I just encourage you to have a look at your routine to say, which things in your routine do you look forward to the most, and how can you maybe start your day off by giving yourself just a boost before you get into work. So I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say. If you can maybe put in your comments to say, what is your favorite part of your routine? And are you going to try and make that the first thing you do in the morning? Please let me know in the comments. All right. Those are my 5 productivity tips that I use that have really helped save time during the week. I hope you found them useful and you're able to implement some of the tips that I've provided. If you decide to try one of them, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear how you spin your productivity or daily routine to try and save more time throughout the week.